This is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty. Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty.
And greetings. Welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and we are back. Today is May the 7th. It's Sunday, and we're back for a great show today with a couple of my cohort counterparts here. We're going to start out the night introducing them. First off, FC Fastcart. How are you?
I'm doing well. Wait, today's May 7th? It's no longer May 6th?
It's no longer May 6th. It's no longer May 5th. We're past May 4th. Yep, we're already in the first week of May. And next up to my left is the man himself from down under, Kalrati. What's up, my brother?
Hey, Griff, FC. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. Excited to see what we have tonight.
Yes, we are excited to see what we have today. We're kind of doing a different show. Every once in a while, we kind of do these shows that are not about necessarily Star Citizens development, but something that's in relation to the community. And tonight is one of those nights. But before we talk about that, we have to acknowledge, I know Fastcart, you did this the other day, that this week was May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I have to acknowledge for our good friend Colossal, he gets upset because they don't talk about May the Sith be with you on the 5th. He gets all bent out of shape because we don't talk about the Sith. So did you guys do anything in relation to Star Wars week? Did you watch any Star Wars movies, or did you just kind of say May the 4th be with you and keep rolling? What was your, either one of you guys?
I just did the May the 4th, man.
Yeah. That was it? Just sent out a meme and that was it, right? Okay.
Yeah, I said it on Thursday. I was looking for some Star Wars deals, right? But you know, all the games that they don't put on sale, I have them all. Yeah, I've already got them. So I was looking forward to some books that are on sale, but they didn't do books on sale this time. So maybe next year.
Yeah, I have to be honest though. I was gonna buy Jedi Survivor, but after what I heard, I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
It's another one of those. It's another one of those. Let's wait and see. We heard about the launch, and well, I'll wait till they get it straight, type of thing. Yeah. Well, Darkazak, thank you for that sub. Thanks for kicking us off for the month of May. You're number one at the list there. Yeah, you know, big Star Wars fans. Most of us, if we're not even big fans, we've been influenced by Star Wars, and obviously, Star Citizen has been influenced by Star Wars as well. I put on my Star Wars shirt, you know, the old school one with the yellow lettering with the logo Star Wars. I wore that day. You know, most people who saw it didn't know it was May the 4th, didn't mean anything to them. But I was interested. I agree with you, Kalrati. The one thing I will say I've heard about the game is that people enjoy it so far. They still, some of them think the first one's a little bit better story-wise, even though the new one is much bigger and expansive and gives them a little bit more room. And they've added some new features you can do in the game. So I guess it's a little bit of a trade-off there. Yeah. I never could get into, I hate to say this, I tried to play, what's it called? Forbidden. What's the other one called? The one before?
Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. I know I'm gonna get some hate and some shade when I say this. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It just felt too doggone linear. Too okay. You just follow the path and do what you're supposed to do thing. You know, the options weren't there that I was, and maybe it's because I'm getting so wrapped up with this MMO world of doing what you want to do in the world.
You're used to the open world. You people guiding your hand to take you from path to path.
So, you know, it opened up great. It's visually beautiful. The story stuff was cool. But as soon as I had to do that whole freaking, what do you call it when you're jumping around, platforming. Yeah. They were losing me. I'm like, okay, I'm back to Mario. I'm back to Mario. I don't feel like calculating this jump and seeing, is this the right ramp to jump? And dude, I just want to get to the story. So, I'm getting to be an old geezer, okay? I know that's what it is. But platforming is just such an old thing. I've done it a zillion times. I'm looking for innovation in the game, and I just didn't need that whole hopping over. Now, what was cool was that section when you go to the shipyard with the whole thing with the Star Destroyers and stuff. That was kind of neat. But yeah, that was cool. But it was just so much of it. And I know they were trying to get you introduced into how to get the mechanics of the game. So I'm going to come back to it. But I hate to say it. I got that far, talked to the guy that was my partner, got on the train and cut the game off. I said, okay, that's as far as I got.
Yeah, it's like I gave up my platforming days when I stopped playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, because those Datacron hunts, those were a chore. I don't know if anyone is familiar with those, but you know, you get these Datacron hunts, they add attributes to your character. Yeah, and you got to pick them up one by one. But in order to find them, they're really hidden in the open world. Yes. And you got to platform. You got to calculate the jump. You got to make that jump just right. Otherwise, you'll miss it. And most of the time, you can't solo them. You need your guild or a team to help you out. Yeah. And if one of them is drunk or high or having some off day, then you know that could be 2 hours wasted. You know. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want you to know, first of all, Colossal is raging because I mentioned may the Sith be with you. So he's been plastering the chat now with nothing but Sith-related stuff. So yes, we see you, Colossal. Thank you.
Cinco de Mayo. So
yes, he did. Yes, he did. And yes, Gladestone, I know every game is not No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, or Star Citizen. In fact, I guess what I did today, I started a new character in No Man's Sky today. Thank you very much. Okay, so there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually did. Every time I get into it, I get a little funky about it, and then I leave it because I get distracted. And I was watching a good friend of ours in test Evil 1 playing, and he's really into it. I mean, and he was showing me stuff, and I was like, wow, this looks interesting. You know, they've been making the game better and better, you know, but you got to be willing to get into it. It's definitely a black hole game if you get into it. So it's difficult for me to get in anything that's going to be long term. But anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to touch on Star Wars because it was Star Wars week, and we're all big Star Wars fans. Some of you weren't even born when we watched Star Wars, so I'm just going to throw that in there, Kalrati. Some of you weren't born. Some of you weren't born. That's all I'm going to say. Some of you weren't born. Okay. So
I mean, some of us grew up on Jar Jar. I think he's the best thing ever, right?
But you know, it's funny, that generation, they embraced episodes 1, 2, and 3 the way we embraced 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, nobody embraces 7, 8, and 9. First. Yeah, nobody embraces 7, 8, and 9. But people do, you know, generate the other 2 trilogies. Okay, let's jump into it, gang. Today's show is about community tools, and many of us have accessed tools, different things that are available to us to help us play Star Citizen a little bit better. We do know that Star Citizen offers their own official tools. We'll talk about those right at the very beginning, but we do want to talk about some of the other community tools that are out there. Now, please, don't take this as the definitive guide for community tools. We just took some of the ones that we know are popular. We also took some of the ones that we just randomly searched or that we've seen before. Whether we use them or not isn't it. We just know that they've been out there for a while. They're credible to use. But there are other tools that people have that we just either didn't have access to or didn't find that you may use. So if there's something that you think is a great tool, as we get to the different categories, if you want to drop it in chat and let people know, just say the name of it. Don't put, we can't put the link in, but if you just say the name of it, people can Google it and they can find it themselves. So let's go ahead and kick it off right from the very beginning. This is going to be, oh, by the way, this is an interactive show, y'all. Usually when we do these shows, I usually have all this stuff preloaded into the software, right? And all I do is just push buttons and everything comes up. Today, I'm manually putting everything up that comes in because these are all websites. They're all websites, and it's like.
So in other words, you're doing it the way I do every Thursday.
Yeah, but but see, you do it the smart way because you screen grab and have all the tabs, and I can't. I didn't want to do that because I need to be able to scroll through them a little bit better. And I just said, you know what? It's too much work. There's too many websites here. Okay. So let's talk about the things that we know about that are official, because I think that's the first place we want to start. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me turn off. Why is that in the background? That shouldn't be back there. We got two of those up there. Let's see. Give me 1 second, gang. I got to see what that other thing is in the background there. There's two. You see that other background in the back there?
No, I do. I mean, I see the official, the one from
Well, okay. Let me get rid of this one. That's still there.
That's the one.
Yeah, but I don't know why that's there. It shouldn't be. There should only be one of those in there, and there are two. That's what's driving me crazy. Okay.
There it is. Okay.
All right. Sweet. So, let's talk about the official tools first, right, guys? Let's talk about Spectrum. That's one of the ones that's on the RSI, the Robert Space Industries website. fastcart. Any thoughts or any things you want to say about benefits? Whatever in relation to Spectrum, the official website.
Spectrum does have a lot to offer. They have the community hub. They have the mostly the community hub as well as the forum, and they have.
But I want to keep it. Let's keep it. I don't want to go to the RSI website. I want to go to Spectrum in particular. Let's stay with that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they have the forum and they have the live chat. So they have two ways of communicating on there, and they have the concierge room for the concierge, and have the subscriber room if you're a subscriber. So they do have different perks depending on what your level is in the game.
Have you ever sat in on those fastcart, the live chats in there? I know they're there.
When they first. When I first started, yeah. When I first got it, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, hey, I'm concierge now. Yay, look at me. Okay. A week later, nothing.
I've only been in concierge chat about 3 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Kalrati, what about you with Spectrum? Anything in particular that stands out?
Oh, yeah. Like the first time they mentioned Spectrum integration into the game, I've been looking forward to it so very much. I mean, it's kind of been slowly coming along, slowly trucking along, and they've been slowly implementing certain things like, group chats and such, and the ability for you to create group chats. For us to get an idea of how, kind of org chats eventually will be like in those things, especially in the game, and, potential ways in which you can manage your org and such via Spectrum integration. So that's one of the things that I'm definitely looking forward to. They're slowly getting to that point. And of course, the moment they were able to first link Spectrum to in-game, I think that was the start. And I think right now, I don't know when the next major update will be in terms of how Spectrum influences the game or connects us to the game, because I know, the Montreal studio, they're busy with server meshing, they're busy with all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Yeah, they're with all those things. So I'm not sure what the platform, I think they call the platform team, what they're doing now. But I hope that they continue and we see some updates on Spectrum with regards to Spectrum integration pretty soon.
Okay. Some of the areas that I do pay attention to, obviously, when we want to get information about the PTU, you can always go there for that. Special announcements that come out from CIG about events that are happening in game. There's also a lot of the developer conversations happened here as well with the community. You were going to say, FC? Go ahead.
I was just about to say, I forgot to mention the dev tracker. That is a part of Spectrum, and I use it every Thursday to keep track of what the devs are saying and keep track of the progress and such. Because you learn a lot from the dev tracker, because it's like, I mean, otherwise you had no way of finding this information or learning about it. So I think the dev tracker is great for it in relation to the Spectrum.
Yep. There are also things here to help you. I think Kalrati, you touched on this, being able to create chats or with your friends and stuff. You can connect with people. back in the day, we used to have to use this even to make our friends list for the game sometimes. It's a weird thing. There's a lot of weird integrations here. Now, they're not through with this. And Kalrati, you referenced this too. CIG said that they want us to be able to tie this in-game in some form. And we don't know if that's going to be through MobiGlass. Or we do know it's going to be through MobiGlass, but we don't know what that's going to be later on. But there will be an app that will tie this in real world, real time to the game. So we'll have to see where CIG goes with that. Obviously, the website, like all websites over time, gets a little aged, but they are always looking to do improvements to it. One of the things that people don't look at very much on here, which is interesting to me, is this area called shipyards, where you can go in if you've got your manufacturer and ships that you like, and you want to talk with people about those ships. Also, the devs read those areas too. It's much more specific than if you're just looking at something like, saying something's not working. But if there's something maybe in your cutlass that's not working, go into the Drake area, there'll be people there that might be able to tell you with a workaround, or other people who say, yeah, that is an issue. It's just a good place to have communication. I'm going to correct myself. When first started, I did go into the shipyard a few times. So yeah. Okay. When we've done our virtual bar citizens, we've posted that here in the community area. So things that are happening in the community, even though you can go to the official bar citizen site, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Quite often people will post gatherings and things of that nature here too. Now, I want to throw the elephant in the room to you guys, though. There are a lot of people who will say that they don't use Spectrum because it's toxic, because of the conversations in chat. Have you found that there's toxicity when people are in the forums and responding, or just a lot of sarcasm? Is it constructive? You got any thoughts? Kalrati, you're grinning, so I don't know if you have any thoughts about that already.
Yes. Okay. So to elaborate on that, I think it's everyone just being really passionate, man. Because you see it a whole lot in many forums for many different games, and everybody has their own point of view with so many different things. There's someone who may show their frustration with the game, and then everybody's like, "Yeah, let's jump on this guy right now, man." And it's like, "Okay, guys, calm down." But at the same time, it's all about the passion, and at the same time too, there are some really cool posts that actually just make you feel glad about being part of this community, especially when folks promote certain things, especially when they, highlight certain great events and those things. So it's pretty much all across the spectrum, I would say. Yeah. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah, by the time I hit the spectrum or the thread, the moderators have already cleaned out any toxicity that I may come across. So they're on the job and getting things done. One thing I do I would do want to point out that sometimes they have asked me anything, AMAs from the developers on Spectrum, and every week for Star Citizen Live, they take questions from Spectrum. So CIG, I'm trying to promote it and get people to use it too.
Yeah,
totally.
Ryuk, I see what you're saying. Knight Rider is notoriously known for monitoring conversations on the Spectrum.
Oh, man.
And Knight Rider's a really cool guy, guys. Listen, he may get a lot of heat, okay? But if you guys have met him, he comes out when we do our virtual bar citizens. I think he's been at every one of them. Maybe he might have missed one, but he's been at all of them. And you'll find out that he's a really cool guy. He's got a tough job. Moderating a site like that, where, as Kalrati put it, people are passionate. You're always trying to walk that tightrope of what's appropriate, and what crosses the line. And I know sometimes it seems very gray, but I wouldn't want his job. They'd have to pay me a lot of money, especially once people know who I am. So, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. So yeah, that's what we've got here in relation to, what did we say this was? The Spectrum. Okay. Let's go to our next tool. Oh, one other point I want to highlight is this place where I stopped at here. The 318 live discussion and feedback area. This is an area that I think a lot of people, or some people, don't pay attention to, but this is the area where wherever the live patch is, if you want to see what's going on and talk about it, it's here. Now, when we post tickets, when something's wrong with the game for bugs and stuff, that's one thing. But when you want to share ideas, talk about the live game, that's where great conversations go on here. So just kind of make a note of that particular section. But like I said, this is a big area. There's a lot of stuff here. The further down you get there, I think there's the less that people are paying attention to stuff. Fastcart, I know the Banu language area is something that you're going to have to be focusing on eventually. And then you've got the Xi'an language area that are down there at the bottom. They've got some off-topic areas down there. There's role play areas for those of you who are into that fan creation.
I gotta believe hardware sees a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it might for people who are trying to figure out stuff and whatnot. It might be the meetups area, tech support.
And one thing you have in the screen, organization.
Yes.
A lot of orgs are hoping that they'll improve that in Spectrum and in the game.
Yes.
So yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's progress on here. Let's go to our next area. I think I can make this happen without doing any changes to the screen. And if I can, I'm gonna be really a happy guy. I am a happy guy. Okay. Alrighty. Those of you who know what this is, the Arc Star map. Unfortunately, the Arc Star map has been not working for the past maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I know at least 6 to 8 weeks ago I went in and it wasn't working. But for those of you who know what it is, and hopefully I can mute that audio. I think, is it this button here? Yes, good. Okay.
Sweet.
This is the star map, and this is the award-winning, right, Fastcart? The award-winning,
multiple award-winning
star map that is put together for the game. As you guys know, CIG, when they talked about the what Star Citizen was to ultimately be, it was to be made up of hopefully what would be 100 systems. And right now we have one looking to go into 2, but this does give you an idea of the direction that CIG wants to go. And there may be even more stuff out there that they don't tell us about. But it's very comprehensive. You can use it to set up routes. Let me not talk about it. Let me go to you, Kalrati, first time. Why don't you tell people what they can do with the star map?
Yeah, sure. They can, do a whole bunch of things. So, for example, you can, kind of understand the general content or layout of certain planetary bodies within a star system. If you want to know what kind of jump points are available in the star system, you can find that out there with regards to small, medium, large, so that you'll have an idea of what size of ship can actually fit in there. A whole bunch of different things you can actually find out. Okay, what's a proper, waypoint or destination or
it's working.
Kind of path.
It's back working.
Oh, well, look at that. Okay,
holy moly.
I tried it like half hour ago. It didn't work for me.
It wasn't.
Don't refresh.
Well, maybe it only works when it's in the browser for the stream. I don't know, but it wasn't working yesterday because I sure tried it.
Yeah, it wasn't working a half hour ago.
Okay. Hey, I'm not complaining. And if it's working, God bless. Okay. Keep going there, Kalrati.
Oh, man. Yeah, sure. So if you want to know the pathway from one star system to another, and even link that to the size of jump point that you want to use, you can do that. So it gives you a good set of information about the planetary bodies, all those things. And I think I would have forgotten something, but pretty much what you'd like to get general information wise with regards to a star system and kind of have an idea of what we can expect on the general surface of a star system, like, for example, Nyx, when that comes online, or even Pyro, you can actually go to the star map and get an idea of what that layout may be. It may change, it may update, etc., of course, to reflect the actual gameplay. But I think the star map is really effective, and I hope, especially when we get the map rework, the star map rework, we can get a reflection of something like that from at different scales, of course, is what they talked about. So I'm really looking forward to it being integrated into the game properly.
FC, any thoughts about the star map?
Yeah, I love it when it first came out. Like you said, it won multiple awards. I want to say, well, I'm not even going to guess how many awards, but it won quite a few. And it was like, it's like a mini game itself. It's like when it first came out, I think I said it quite a few times, and a lot of people agree with me. It's a game within a game, and it's lovely. I want to say it came out in 2016, something like that.
Yeah, 15 or 16. Yeah.
15 or 16. So yeah, and back then we didn't have So we did have Port Olistar, but it wasn't much. So this was something to help us get familiar with the game and get familiar with the lore. And matter of fact, they used to have the Lawmaker's Guide to the Galaxy that featured this quite a few times, quite a few episodes. So that was cool. So I really like this tool. And my favorite place to go in this is Tamsa. That's where the black hole is. Oh, one thing, Kalrati, I'm not sure if you didn't mention it, but you can plot your route. Like if you want to, you have your different routes, and you can bookmark certain systems and come back to them when you leave and come back.
Yes, absolutely.
And you could actually also know, what the territories are green or hostile. Of course, these are static, but I know across a couple monthly reports over the past few months, they've been integrating with regards to quantum. Tony T's been working with the map team to actually use, with VFX and everything to kind of integrate that whole hostility, green territories in the star map itself. So you'll have a general idea of, where to go in terms of hostility and those things, and how it links to quantum eventually in Stanton and other star systems.
And Gladestone touched on to this. He said that he doesn't like how the star map in game works. I'm thinking, or at least I've heard that they want to implement something like the star map on the website in game eventually, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, no, they've definitely made that clear. In fact, this is the prototype for what they want us to have later. So we're still looking at a tier 2 version of the star map in the mobiGlas. So for those of you who don't know, that is not what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay.
Yeah, and the Gladius had something. Well, some of the ships had something like it at the MFD, but then I think a little after 3.0 or before,
they pulled it out. Yep. They pulled it out. Yep. It was like a little holographic thing that we had previously, and now they've just gone to like more of a radar looking thing. But we did have something that was a little bit more detailed. But yeah, it's coming. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check out the star map, check it out. And I think Kalrati, you said this too. All the planetary bodies have descriptions. They talk about the suns, the different stars, what their composition is, what types they are, whether planets have atmosphere, asteroid belts. Everything is in here. So it's a lot of information. You could literally spend just a long time just looking around in this thing to get an idea of where you want to go in the system.
Totally.
So good stuff. Okay. So those are two, even though there's a little bit more. Fastcart mentioned earlier some things that are on the RSA site, but these are the ones that we really wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of if you're going to be able to play the game and to have information about playing it. Let's go to the next one here, which is the Star, and this is interesting, Fastcart. There were several sites that called themselves the Star Citizen Wiki, okay? This one here is Star Citizen Tools, okay? But if you look them up, and we put the link in for you guys there.
Got it.
But this actually, when you bring it up, it'll say Star Citizen Wiki. What I liked about this one is they had the categories right here at the top, which was kind of cool. FC, did you get a chance to take a look at this one at all, Star Citizen Wiki?
I went to the pages and got a brief look. Mostly when I come to these wikis, then I'm using Google and Google with different topics. So I don't really use the site by itself, but yes, I do look at articles within the wiki itself.
Well, we're going to encourage you guys to click on these links while we're going through this if you want to see what they look like, because I have very limited access doing it here on the show. But if you want to click on it, because we're putting the links in for you and you can see what they are. Some of these things I can activate. The problem is I can't activate everything because this is just a really weird space to try to do this in. But here you can see like they have it broken down with lists of vehicles, purchasing ship weapons, a lot of information here. There are some really dedicated folks who've taken this information that we know and play with and put it into places where you can play it. Kalrati, let me ask you a question. What are the things that you see among some of these tools that you think will remain, irregardless to how much CIG expands, the game and the mobiGlas, right? Because there may be some things that, like let's say, and we're going to get to these later, like trading, for example.
Yep.
If they start putting in real-time trading in your mobiGlas, do you think these sites will still be relevant, or do you think that they'll, or do you think some of them may fade away? I've always kind of wondered about that.
So coincidentally, I was actually going to make a comment on that because I think these sites definitely will remain. For example, some of these sites can remain as a culmination of different descriptions of certain things. We heard from last week's SCL where Thorsten and Dan were talking about crafting. Sometimes, I don't know what the layout may be with respect to getting information on what crafted items or resources may be able to, or how effective they'll be with regards to certain things, or if we'll have to sift through information, or if there'll be a log somewhere. But if you actually go to these websites, they most likely will have them documented on, is this best for this application for crafting? Was this best for that application for crafting, especially for the new players? So I think, if someone were to use the guide tool and have someone, help them out with something, most likely these kinds of sites may be one of those examples that they'll refer the new player to, or even experienced players if you haven't tested or tried a certain mechanic or a certain professional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
I think a lot of these sites will be something like have a historical value eventually when CIG makes that stuff like this available on Spectrum or the mobile because right now they have you want to look up a price of a certain ship when it came out of concept versus now, that's already in there, and and sometimes some articles may not be updated or change the way CIG changed it there, so you can swap back and forth to see, it used to be this, now it's this. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I think the fact that these tools are out there, and we want you guys to explore these as well, support these folks. Obviously give attention to it because, like you said, fastcart, especially for new players, these are great places of reference because quite often these sites are actually updated better than the RSI website is.
I bet CIG takes inspiration from these websites too.
I'm sure. Well, it takes some pressure off them if nothing else, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's take a look. I don't know why this didn't. Why didn't this? I got to do a weird copy and paste thing here. Okay. Let's take a look at this next one. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these kind of have the same title. So just kind of understand that this one says Star Citizen Wiki as well. We'll put the link in for you guys for this one. They actually do have their web addresses saying Star Citizen Wiki. But again, graphical interface here to help you figure out what categories you want to look at to find out information. Very nice site as well. Let's see. By the way, please forgive us Americanos, because there were sites in German, Italian, all types of stuff out there. We don't want to throw any shade toward those sites. If you speak the language, support them and visit them. We don't speak the language, so I wasn't even going to try to embarrass myself or ruin their reputation by trying to describe what's on their sites. Okay, but you can see here, there's other stuff here, languages here and stuff. So, but I just want you to know that there are other sites out there, okay? The last one that we're going to touch on. Yeah, go ahead, FC.
So when are we going to invent the wiki, the Star Citizen wiki to have jive or player hater talk on there? So when is that coming out?
I don't know. When somebody pays us. Okay, this one is also a wiki as well, but this is the Star Citizen fandom. This has fandom. We'll drop that in there for you guys as well. Again, great interface. We pull information. Usually I pull information from Star Citizen Tools or this particular one, Wiki, the fandom page, because they keep their information pretty current and pretty thorough. So you also can check out this site as well. And again, these are all community built sites that we want to really tell you guys to check out when you have time. Same type of information. These are just resources. If there's something you want to know about, especially when it comes to lore, Kalrati, sometimes going back and watching a whole Lore Makers episode is the kicker. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But if you're interested in like Goss, you can come to these sites. And mind you, you know what? I neglected to mention one other resource, and I got to do it, and that's the Galactopedia.
Yes.
On the official site. I don't know how that slipped my mind. But even the Galactopedia, it's getting better. They're adding to it constantly. But even the Galactopedia doesn't have all the information that's out there, because CIG has stuff that's interspersed in papers and things that they put on the website from back in 2012. And so everything's not in the Galactopedia. Many of these people have gone into the websites. They've gone into watching the 10 for Chairman. They've gone into all these areas and pooled all that information onto these wikis so that you guys can have access to it. So definitely worth looking at these sites. Check out that one as well, the fandom page. Did we drop that one in there for them? Yeah, we did. The fandom page.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome. And the Galactopedia. Cool. Okay.
Oh, I'll get that in a minute.
Yeah, no problem. All right, we're going to change gears. Those are the information websites that we want to share with you guys, okay? Now we're going to go and do some old school stuff. Some of these are sites that you guys are familiar with. So they've been around a long time. One of them is fleetyards.net. Some of you guys may remember it. When you see it, you'll remember it, okay? Fleetyards.net was one of the early sites that basically allowed you to, I don't know why it's giving me that only. Let me see if I can get a different page, because maybe the browser's not wanting to get past that. Let me see. Oh, I see why. Okay. Let's see if I can break that differently. It's like a weird logo that's on their page that the web thing won't go past. It's loading it. Let me try one more time, guys. La la la. One more time. Nope, it will not go past that. So let me find something else on here to go to. Maybe I can navigate it differently. Give me 1 second. Told you guys it's going to be interactive in real time, so I'm letting you see it. Okay, I think they're using Flash or something that is allowing it so that it won't go past the beginning page. We're going to put the link in for this one, guys. But this one allows you to create fleets. Talks about space stations based on star systems.
Also, Microsoft Edge to the rescue. So in case anyone still has an are using Microsoft Edge, it works on that.
It works on it works in Chrome. It's just not working. It's just not working in the streaming software.
Oh,
it's just not letting me bring it up through there. I'm looking at it on Chrome, but it's just not letting me bring it. Yeah. So guys, it does work. Don't get me wrong, the site works. It's not working in our streaming software. So it's not getting past that opening page for some reason. And I've clicked on it and done everything, and it's not budging. So I'm gonna have to skip over Fleet Yards, but they have information here about the different stations. There's a lot of information in this one. They've got stuff about the shops in the game. Like I said, you can build your own hangars. Very graphic oriented too. If you navigate it, you'll see that all of this stuff is like there's a menu on the left side, but there's all these graphics and stuff to help you guide through what an admin office is, what the prices are, greasy when you want to buy stuff. A lot of information in here. And you can even say what station you're at and what something's going for. And I'm not sure. Here's the thing I don't know. I don't know whether or not this is in real time or not, or whether it's just to simulate so you know what you're doing. So you got to take a look. There are too many websites for me to go through all of them, gang. Okay. We tried to go through as many of them as we possibly could to get ready for the show today. So that one again is fleetyards.net. And again, they've been around for a little while. Let me leave that, close that. Let me go up to the next one. This is another one that's pretty familiar to folks. Get rid of that, copy that. And some of you all will remember this site, My Fleet. Oh, it's got music.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Let me mute that. Okay.
Yeah, don't want to get in trouble. Don't want to get knocked off YouTube again.
Well, that's the Star Citizen music. We'd be okay. Okay, let's talk about this one because those of you who've been around for a while will remember this site. Fastcart, do you remember this one? My Fleet?
I remember. I think I've only been to it like once or twice. So yeah, I am familiar with it, but I didn't go to it that often.
This was back when we only had 2 options for building fleets. This was one of them. What you would have to do, excuse me, what you would have to do is fill this out, and it would give you a line of code that you would have to go to the RSI website and go to your profile and drop that code in. And then once you did that, it would automatically pull your fleet in and create your fleet for you. Okay. So you didn't select, like, you know how on the other site, you've got it where you can select which ships you want to make for the fleet. This one would go in from the API or whatever, and it would pull all your stuff and make your fleet for you. Right. But again, this There, no, Moondog, look down where it says create my fleet a little bit further down, image right below that. That's what that's where you make your fleet, where this line is right here. Okay. But again, this is one of the sites that's been around for a very, very long time. And some of you guys may have remembered that one. Okay. But this is one of the earlier ones that came out. Let's see, create my new image of my fleet. I wish I had a copy. You guys may remember how this looks. When you do it, your ships come out white against a blue background. Do you guys remember that at all?
I think I remember that because I remember plugging in my handle and then different things. But yeah, it was something really.
Yeah, it's been a little while since they did that one. Okay. The one that I'm going to bring up next, which is a little bit more frequent, more current, that people probably, I would say most people who've been around any length of time have definitely used, is this one here, Starship 42. The Starship 42 is the one that has the fleet viewer here. And this is one of the things that's funny about it, because a lot of people just go straight to the fleet viewer side of this thing. Let me see if I can bring it up. Remember that one? Now, this is the one where you can pick your ships and say what it is you want to have.
That's what I used for the longest time.
Yes, this one is like the granddad that a lot of people use, mostly because of the being able to customize it. They added other features later on where your ships weren't just monochrome, but you could do color and some other stuff to it. The issue with this one was that it really pulled on your system if you didn't have a pretty strong system, if you put a lot of ships out there, but it rendered very nicely. You get 360 degrees, kind of like a 3D version, or you could do a straight 2-dimensional top down. But the cool thing is with this is that you could actually say, like, for example, fastcart might say, I own 4 defenders, not just a defender, but you could say 4 defenders, 3 javelins, blah, 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 blah. And it would set them all up on the screen. You could position them however you wanted. You could say random. You could say put them in a semicircle. There's all a lot of cool configurations.
And different backgrounds.
Different backgrounds. Exactly. So yeah, just a lot of features there in this particular site, and still very much used. And this was one of the first ones that it allowed you to save your fleet. So if you want to come back and change it later on, you'd have to click on everything again. Yes, absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. That was one of the things. I forgot about that. You're right. You could save your stuff. Okay. All right. So that one here again, Fleet 42. Now I do want to go back, and this is, even though we talk about Starship 42. I want to emphasize this site has more than that. Unfortunately, that's like the big draw for a lot of people. I do want to go back to the main page of this site. If it will go back. It looks like it didn't want to go back. I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, you might have to enter the link again.
I did. It won't. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can do something else to make it reload. Let me do this. You know what I got to do? I've got to probably break it out of that like that and then come back because it just didn't want to do it. See, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. So again, the center picture here gives you an idea of what this looked like as well. But like I said, you could colorize it and do some other stuff. They do have other things on this page. Can you guys bring it up and read those other categories for me? Because
yeah, sure, man.
Can't see. There's a professions map. Right.
We got inverse. You can also compare the sizes of your models of the ships.
Yes.
Got Ship Forge, where you can build your own starship.
I haven't used
that one in a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
That was pretty cool. You have your fleet. Well, they have the revised version of the fleet viewer. I didn't use that one though, so I'm not sure if you made any progress on optimization and performance. And they have the profession map. I think that has to do with the professions that actually represent the ships. And of course they have the studio where you can get the different holo viewers.
Now, you know what I never monkeyed around with, and I'm just noticing it. I don't know why I didn't see it. It was that inverse. The inverse thing was seeing the interiors of your ship in a 3D model. I bet that's going to wear the computer out, but I might have to come back and monkey around with that. I don't know if any of you guys
use hardware acceleration, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if any of you guys in chat have ever used that, the inverse thing, view the interior of 3D models. But I'm sure that's probably interesting to see. So I'm gonna have to come back and revisit this. Oh, that was the other thing that was great about this thing too. The compare feature. That was the other thing that was nice. A lot of times you guys may remember when you would see people take a ship and, like, let's say they want to say, let's see the galaxy next to the constellation next to the so-and-so. This was the app or the website that people were using to do that. And it would line the ships up and you could see the lengths and sizes. A lot of people use that. A lot of content creators would come here to pull that information out. Okay.
And I'm ashamed to admit, but you know, when I had this stuff bookmarked, I had it bookmarked directly to the fleet viewer, so I missed all this stuff for like years. This is my first time seeing the main page.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you know now, right? And as they say, now you know. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, you know, if you guys can support these folks, check them out. You know, great information that's been in the community for a very, 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 very long time. Okay. And then let's go to the latest of the fleet viewers that we have, our good friends over at Star Jump. As you guys know, they recently, this last year, released their fleet viewer. And interestingly enough, it don't want to run in the program either.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna see if I can get it to go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can get
that's
it to
not
go.
going to be. Yeah, you're going to need an external viewer for that Chrome for that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that will not run in the streaming software.
Let's see.
That is too complex.
I'm going to try one more thing. Let me try one more link because I had a different link. I was trying to go directly to it. Let me see if I can just go to it a different way. You're right. She will not run. Okay. But you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. Give me 1 second here. Give me a second, gang. We at the Soul Citizens can try to be innovative when we can.
And while he's doing that, I'm just going to what we can talk about. Oh, you already got it. So yeah, it's a great site. Friends at Star Jump put it together. It took them a month to get this up and running, and they got it with great results, I think.
All right. So as you guys know here, it's pretty straightforward stuff. You can pick your ship. Let's pick a ship that none of us will ever be able to afford.
You might.
And,
You're the only one.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And the thing that makes this site stand out more than anything probably is the level of detail that the folks over at Star Jump Station have gone to for the ships. Obviously, they're more on the graphics side, even though they do include technical information. This is really about being able to put your fleets together. There's ways that you can stack ships. There's a whole bunch of stuff, resizing, whole lot of things that you can do on the fly with this. They try to keep this as current as possible. They also have some ships and things in here they created themselves. Not only do they have ships, they have space stations in here, space anomalies, a whole lot of other stuff that they've added in here so you can create your own, even wallpapers, things of that nature. You can save them in high resolution, blah, 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 blah. Very, 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 very cool site for being it for the ship side. We'll talk about the hangar link side in a second. We're going to say FC.
I just want to say, can you show the Starliner? Because we got a special Starliner in there.
You want me to find that beast? Let me see.
You should be able to go to the top.
That's not the problem, fastcart. It's the whole clearing stuff out and me remembering how to use this site. You're making me work. All right. So what fastcart wants you guys to see is that the beautiful people at Star Jump actually created a ship for us. And some of you have seen this before, but it's the Soul Starliner. There we go. Too big. Trying to get the sizing here. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So boy, if they put that in game, I'll be thrilled to death. But
you're right.
It's a very nice gesture of Grim and the team there to throw this together. They even put one together for fastcart. They put fast carts in here. Let me see if I can find that. Let me find it real quick if I can find it. Again, it's always trying to remember how to.
I there's a way to type in search and type in the name and
there is. I told you I'm just trying to remember how to use this program. You know, it's not like I'm in here every day. What is your thing called? A Banu Merchantman, right?
Banu Merchantman.
Banu. Oh, they just gave it to you. They didn't give it to here. Or did they?
No.
It's under Merchantman. It's under Merchantman. No, I'm looking under Banu. I'm looking under Banu. I'm not looking under Merchantman.
No, the fast card.
It's under fast card. It's under your name. Oh my God!
Yep, it is.
Oh my God! He actually got it after his name.
Oh man!
Where's it at?
FA. You're in the number. Go down.
What do you mean? I'm where the letters are. I'm looking at it alphabetically.
I saw it.
You're smoking crack. It's not down. It's got to be in Merchantman. You know?
Yeah. Type in Merchantman.
There it is there. Fastcart Merchantman. There we go. Ah, look at that big thing. All right, y'all. I know we're just having fun here, but there you go. There's the fast cart merchantman.
Look at that sweet.
Got the paint job of his cart and everything, so it looks really sweet. Very, very nice. Okay.
And the great thing is, I put this on YouTube. You can go back and see watch him put it together, and that's pretty neat.
Yes, very, very cool site. So when you guys get a chance, definitely check those folks out. What I didn't do was the hanger link side of this, and I'm sorry. Let me pull it up real quick again, because no, we got too many other things to go through. Just check out their site, gang. I don't want to get hung up on any one of them more too long. Yeah, but check out Hanger Link when you guys get time. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, those are the ones we're going to do for fleet management. The next ones that we want to talk about are in relation to forums and websites. So let's do this one here. Yeah, fastcart. I didn't think about how some of these sites probably do not like our streaming software. So
the browser, that's why I do everything in the Chrome.
Yeah. Okay, the Bar Citizen website. FC, you want to talk about this one a little bit? Tell folks what this is.
Yeah, I put the link in. Yeah, so this is where you go in if you want to see if there's a Bar Citizen in your area or someplace you're traveling and what date is on. You go to this lovely website and click on it and see what's available. Also, they have Discord service all over the world. So if you have a local Discord, you want to keep track of when your local events are. You can go there and get information there too.
Mm-hmm. So when you click on it, over on the right side, it'll tell you where the event is being held, the date and the time, location of it. If they have a website set up for it or a Discord link that's set up for it, that's one of the things that you can do here if you just want to find something in your local area. I cannot, let's see, control and scroll to what? To zoom. Control. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. I'm going to come over here to the States, if it will let me. Okay, well, so much for control and zoom. Oh, there we go. All right. I'm grabbing the whole picture. I forgot I can't do that.
We're doing it live.
I forgot. Yeah, we're doing it live. We're doing it live. That's how you said it, right? All right. Well, anyway, you guys get the point, okay? You can. I'm trying to get it to go over there. There we go. All right, so it looks like somebody in Michigan is doing one or something. Where's that? Lansing? Yeah, that's in Lansing, Michigan.
So you go to your event list, you'll see all of them, I believe.
Are you actually going to try to make me try to do more navigation in this thing than I'm doing right now? You lucky I'm doing this. All right.
Come on, FC.
Is that Philadelphia there? I don't know. British Columbia, Bar Citizen, May. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff here, gang, basically, okay? If you guys want to find out about events, that's where you can go to find out. That's in Oklahoma.
And that's where you can see your local nerd and talk to our citizen.
Absolutely.
As long as you want.
Absolutely. Okay. Bar Citizen. Oh, and by the way, if you ever want to do a Bar Citizen, you also can go here to register your Bar Citizen. You can actually say here, register your event. All that other stuff goes in there. So you'll know how to put that out publicly so people will know where you're going. What's up, Stingray? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. All righty. Let's go to our next one here. This one was one I wasn't very familiar with. I'd seen their logo before. Yeah, I mean, I'd seen the logo for it before, but I never really monkeyed around on the website. It would come up in browsing from time to time. And I've been trying to completely figure them out because the title of this, guys, is for the acronym Delta Consulting Aviation Products. And what it says here is that the Aviation Products Division specializes in mapping landing zones, no-fly zones, space stations, spaceports, and other areas to provide pilots with useful information for flight planning. Does a spaceport have a landing pad or a hangar that can accommodate your ship? Does it have refueling services? Does it even have landing pads at all? Are there obstructions or terrain features? So this is kind of like pilots have an airman's guide that'll tells them when they're coming into an airport, everything that surrounds it, obstructions, what services are there. And it seems that they're doing something very similar to that in Star Citizen. Okay. And so as you progress through it, though, they have all these different products and things that they'll talk about. And I'm going to scroll down here so you could see it, what they have. these are the different categories that you can click on. And the reason why I mentioned this, I used to work in aviation. They have NOTAMs here, which are notices to airmen. That's what NOTAM means. It lets pilots know what's going on in a certain area. So if you want to check out NOTAMs that are in the Stanton system, notices to the pilots to let you know what's going on. Now, in real aviation, NOTAMs could be everything from construction to weather-related stuff, or if an airport is closed or a runway is closed, or if there's problems. And so I'm assuming that they're doing something very similar to that with this by presenting that information out for pilots. If you guys get a chance, there's the link in chat. Check them out. Very different kind of resource. That might be something that might say, hey, this is something very cool for my organization or for me to use. Kalrati, did you look at it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to think that some of the presentations of the layouts, the graphical layouts, for example, when you go into navigation, etc., would have helped to formulate the in-game maps that we see from Siege, that we see even with the new player experience when you walk up and you see like that local area map for ArcCorp. Mm-hmm. So and it goes back to the whole thing where we're seeing all these community tools and these websites. And I think, even though some of these elements are being integrated into Star Citizen, it will still continue to add inspiration and help the developers to actually, come up with more intuitive ways for us to navigate and for us to, be able to go through these areas, go through these networks a lot easier in game. So I think they'll be here for a very long time.
Yeah, it's a very different site. And when I clicked on this link, what it did was it took me to a hey, who was that who just popped in? Somebody just joined us. Max Capacity.
Thank you. Max.
Yeah, absolutely. What that did was open up a Google Drive that has, they've done full maps of no-fly zones over all the cities there, which is very cool. Somebody did their homework here, and
they may have to revise it for 319.
Yeah, they definitely will for Lorville. For Lorville, at the very least, that's very, very true. They will have to do that. But again, another cool resource, something that I stumbled across, and I said, okay, they put some work behind this. Let's show it off a little bit. Okay, let's go to another type of
They have BBG in here, Big Black Layman.
Oh, really?
Rapid.
Oh,
he's Microtech.
Lord, okay. Lord. All right, let's hit this next one here. Star Citizen Base. This is another website that I've seen several times in the past. Were you going to say fastcart?
No, ignore me. Please go on.
Okay, all right. This one is laid out more like a forum, but a lot of information here, discussions that go on here. They've got stuff in here about the different professions, about community creations, images, hardware, computer build outs, things of that nature. There's got stuff in here about 3D modding, just a lot of different very cool things here as well. Talking about ships and packages that you should buy. But it's been around for a little bit too. Star Citizen Bases, I think it has, because I've seen this for quite a while.
I don't want to say this has been around since at least 2015.
Okay.
If not before.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so take a look at this one. It's an old one. Yeah, it is. Take a look at this one again. Now, some of these that we're showing you are also run by organizations, some of them are just somebody's own passion project that they take on, but some of these are definitely forums or websites that are done by organizations. And quite often, even though they're done by an org, the org will keep it open for the general public to be able to access. And one of those is going to be me and fastcart's org. We're going to bring them up real quick, and that's Test Squadron. Test Squadron is at testsquadron.com. You don't have to be a member to be able to look at it, but they have things on their website, from regular comment posts for things in the org to a marketplace where people within the org are selling a ship. They're going to melt something, or they're looking for something. They'll do want to buy or want to sell, similar to what they do on other sites. And we do trading within the org. Sometimes people put things up here because back in the day, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people who went out and bought Kalrati like 20 dragonflies because they want to use them for LTI, to buy things. And then they bought all they want, and they've still got 8 or 9 of them, and they want to sell them. And for the most part, if you're a part of the org, they don't upcharge you. They don't do anything like that. People just pretty much like whatever it costs, just pay me for that and I'll send it to you. So it's a safe space too, because there are org members. We know who they are. We do have some rules in relation to that. If you're not in the org, you can't do the marketplace thing. But if you're an org member, there's some history of you. If somebody says, yeah, I know that fastcart, he's not a bum, you can trust him, then they'll go ahead and sell something to you. Okay. So yeah, there are orgs that do run their own websites though, just so you guys will know. Okay. Kalrati, you know of any orgs or anything that you looked at, org websites, or just pretty much using the ones that we've seen so far?
Oh man, so usually not necessarily org websites, but especially when when they have events like Daymar Rally, when we have Crux Cup and those things, I usually tend to frequent around their websites because they can be pretty informative, especially when you want the information specifically for that event. You go to those websites as opposed to going to Spectrum and those because you have everything there.
Yeah. FC, what about you? Any other websites that you can think of that are forum or just general org websites?
I haven't been to test squadrons in a while, unfortunately. But another one, it's Gilded. They try to go back and forth between. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Gilded still falls more into the category of like what Discord is.
They're both too old.
Yeah, it does have its areas where you can do stuff, though. Don't get me wrong. You're right. But it's definitely designed, as the title labels it, for organizations. That's what they're trying to do, right? They're kind of trying to mix elements of TeamSpeak, Discord, and some other things there. See, Testis was testing it, for lack of a way of saying it. And there are features about it we like. The problem is that Discord is so popular because people are on Discord not just because of tests. They're on Discord because they're also in 50 other servers, right?
50 other, yeah.
And so
I know I am.
Getting folks to, you may say, yeah, Gilded is great and it does what our org needs. But for me to communicate as a gamer, I can't isolate myself, to Gilded. I had them both running for quite a while.
I was going to say, I have like 50 different Discords. I don't need another app to have,
Yeah, it is. So, yeah. Jay dropped one in there for us called Verse Guide. She says that it's very useful for sunrise and sunset times. That's amazing. You guys make sure you check that one out. Verse Guide. Okay, it's a nice tool there if you want to. I think I'm going to look that one up myself. I'm going to check that out.
Do it live again.
I'm going to look at that one myself. Okay. I would post it, but I got too many here to look at. So you guys make sure you all bookmark that one, Verse Guide, okay? Let's talk about some more infamous stuff here. When we get into the world of social media, do you guys use social media as a source of information?
Always. I at least I use it a little more. I would say half and half with regards to getting community-related updates. So I would say, okay, if I want to see some pictures or so, or even some posts, I would sometimes, just go to the Star Citizen Facebook page. I don't know how frequent they are with Instagram, but it's usually either between Facebook and Twitter. So I would say, I usually use those in tandem in terms of frequency with the dev tracker on the RSI website on Spectrum.
Okay. FC, what about you? Social media, is that a place you go for info?
I have Twitter. I have a Twitter notification window up in my upper right corner. So whenever there's something that's trending, I can just look up to there and see what's up. And yeah, Twitter, I don't really say I use it for news, really, but I mean for highlights and updates. Yeah, Twitter.
Okay, so for information, you still will tap into it to get information from time to time. Well, let's go to one of the old dogs here, right? I always have mixed feelings about Reddit, right? Reddit is definitely used by people, but then you'll get people say, "Oh, stay off Reddit," But there is stuff out there. My Saturday show is based upon me using Spectrum and Reddit, and there's information out there. People put things out there. True enough, people can be pretty vicious on it too, but. Fastcart, you were the one who told me about the 2 channels for Star Citizen because I only knew about one. I just knew about the Star Citizen when you showed me Star Citizen Universe. And tell people what the differences were between those from your perspective between those two, because you said there was a reason. As
far as I'm concerned, Reddit, the main Reddit, the main subreddit, Star Citizen Reddit, is more of a conversation and more for any old post. Star Citizen Universe is mostly for official stuff and and a light conversation, put it that way, where everyone goes to Star Citizen, the main Star Citizen subreddit, and you have like I don't know how many people are in there now. Oh, double dogs, I like that. Okay, but yeah, Star Citizen universe, mostly news, info.
Okay, all right. And there is some good stuff here. And of course, when there's a hot topic, it definitely gets thrown on here really quickly. The community's going to talk about it. There's just a lot of stuff on both of these channels, and I know.
Yeah, whenever a developer says something that the community might not like, this is the first place it goes, right?
Yeah. It's going to be on Reddit. Okay. The other resource that we want to talk about, and we're talking about social media right now, gang, is one that fastcart mentioned, I think, and so did Kalrati, which is boom, Twitter. Okay. Twitter is interesting because it's gone through its ups and downs, but it is out of all the social media areas, the one that is probably most active from the community managers. Beyond what we get on the Spectrum website. Galactica posts here, Jake posts here, Xylo posts here, what's the other guy's name? Disco posts here. The devs are often out here as well. And then there's the official stuff that comes out from Robert Space Industries, just, their own stuff. The one thing that I do wish that is a little bit difficult is that there are some people who aren't into certain platforms, right? They're not into Twitter. So when an announcement goes out, an official announcement from RSI, if you're not plugged into social media, you don't know about it.
Yep.
When they're doing like those little things where they post a picture and say, "What is this?" for example, you know what I mean? If you're not on social media, you miss out on that, right? Sometimes they drop little breadcrumbs, pardon the expression, you QAnon people, but they'll drop breadcrumbs out here every once in a while about something that's coming up in the game. If you're not in social
some devs
media,
too.
Yeah, you miss out. And so, I'm not telling people to be on here. I'm just telling you there's a pro and con, to it. We use Twitter. We announce our broadcasts and things we celebrate through Twitter as well. It's and many of the content creators use it. It's just another means of reaching out to the community.
But what people can do if you don't want to do it yourself, or someone else you belong to a Discord server that already has it, is that whenever the RSI official account tweets something, you can put it in the Discord channel, so you have a notification pop up for you. It's a way of getting around using Twitter directly, but you can have Discord notify you whenever there's a tweet.
Okay. You have to tell me about that. Discord will notify you if there's a tweet.
Yeah, notifications. Because if you have it set up for
if you set it up that way, I got you now. Okay. I was about to say, where did that come from? I don't know about that one. Okay. Another platform that CIG does officially use is what Kalrati mentioned earlier, is Instagram. They actually do post on Instagram. And this is, of course, as you guys know, Instagram is definitely much more a visual thing. But as you can see, like, for example, on May the 4th, they did the little thing there with the Pico ball over
Pico Moon.
What's the planet?
Death Star.
No, what was the planet called?
Oh, you're talking about
y'all help me out.
Indoor.
Not
Indoor.
Indoor. Thank you. Yes,
it's
Citizen.
Indoor,
Thank
okay.
you, Citizen Shenanigans. Yes, he said Microtech Indoor. It's Divine Shadow. Yeah,
He's not wrong.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff that they're marketing stuff, they will post these things out here when new ships come out. Just things they want the community to respond to. Quite often, you'll find that also out here on Instagram. It is, and usually, if something posts on Twitter, it goes out here as well. So if you're an Instagram fan, you like watching Instagram, they don't do any live stuff here. What they used to do here, you guys remember when Disco was, and I don't know, maybe he still does it. I haven't seen it in a while, but remember when he would do those live cuts for what's coming up on ISC this week?
Yep.
Yeah,
those would come here. Yeah,
Yeah.
those would come here. You'd catch those on
And
Instagram. And were they on Twitter?
Yeah, I saw them on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah,
I forgot about Twitter,
I saw it. Yeah.
I used to go. I used to sometimes refresh IG stories to look forward to those previews.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never missed a single one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, those were very cool. But again, they do use social media as another means of communicating, and of course, so do players. Content creators. A lot of folks use these social media platforms to reach out to the community. Okay. All right, let's go to one more here. Now, this is the new dog in the street. Hate to admit it, y'all. They're the new dog in the street. Let's see. They may not even come up. They that new that they won't even come up on the screen. How's that?
I would not be surprised.
I gotta do it. There it goes. Took a while. TikTok. Yes. Those of you who are not thrilled about TikTok, well, hate to tell you, they've got an official TikTok channel. Okay. And again, a lot of content creators are using TikTok because it's very popular. Obviously, people can get their word out about their live streams. Of course, these are clips. They're not very long, like as if we were talking about YouTube. But for information, people are able to learn about Star Citizen. There are people out here now. You could look at some of these views here. People are getting 42,000 views. I mean, there's a lot of people out here, 48,000 that are getting a lot of views for these clips. And it's exposing the game a lot more to people who maybe under any other circumstance, maybe they like games or space, but of course, the algorithms will start pointing them towards something like Star Citizen, and people are finding out about it. We've got people like Citizen Talk, who has like 100,000. He's like one of the biggest followers out there, but he got in on TikTok really early. We put stuff out there too. I'm just not regular enough to cut one more video every week. to put that. It's so much work because you got to change the format and do all this stuff, And I was announcing our shows out here, but we got some decent views. I was surprised. We would get a lot of 200-300 views that week watching the freaking TikTok. 400 views.
That's what happened. Okay. Well, I didn't know
I'm
that.
just saying, but it's another thing that you got to find something, clip it, cut it. It's a lot of work. But anyway, TikTok obviously again is a rising star when it comes to social media. At least here in the United States, it's a pretty big deal. So yeah, that's another tool that folks are using out there. And last but not least, we're gonna go to the old dog here, the real old dog, which is YouTube. Ooh. Now YouTube, I know with us in Test Squadron, you can ask us about 6 or 7 questions, and after that, eventually somebody will say, dude, you need to look up YouTube and find out. Yeah, give us some feedback.
Google.
Yeah, fastcart, give us some feedback about YouTube, the benefits for that for anybody who's into Star Citizen.
I mean, Twitter and YouTube, especially for like CitizenCon and special event, the RSI official account will host those on this platform. And the great thing about YouTube is that once the event is done, the live event is done, it's that perpetual eternity. So you can always go back and find information, or go to specific time and see certain highlights and stuff like that. So yes, YouTube.
Kalrati?
Yeah, sure. So Bonsai coincidentally actually took the words out of my mouth, especially for ISCs and such. They actually have 4K resolution for viewing. And of course, when it comes to the really meaty information, you can definitely go to the YouTube pages for ISC, SCL, and you'll get some really, really cool information. And of course, it's archived there. So you can always go back and just check out all those footages from way back. That's how I got to learn about Star Citizen when I was checking out the No Man's Sky trailer. I think it was in 2014, and I just saw Star Citizen right next to it, and I was like, okay, I'll click on it, and that's how I got to learn about Star Citizen. So yeah,
and also they're playing trailers now for 318 playable now. So coming to new players, we're bringing new players from ads and stuff.
One of the things that I want to highlight on here is, and some people don't do this, is to go look at their playlists, because this is where you actually understand how much content CIG has produced over the last 11 years.
I would not know how many.
There are so many episodes. If you look at some of the counts on some of these shows, and the one show you won't find here is the 2016 holiday show. Okay, but you will find a lot of stuff here. This is, if you go all the way to the bottom, it starts from the oldest, working its way up, guys. It's not completely chronological, but I'm just saying if you want to get a bearing on it, this is the first videos that Chris Roberts posted in relation to the development of the game. We're talking Kickstarter videos at this particular point. We start seeing ship commercials here. Now, if you look at this, it says 83. That's because it's got all the ships in there.
Yeah.
But if you want to go back and see like the very first Aurora, the very first Freelancer, the very first Anvil, that's when you're going to start seeing all those videos. And we pull a lot of this from our archive. The 10 for the Chairman videos. If you want to see Chris, 128 shows where Chris answered 10 questions from people in the community. So if you want to hear about the vision aspect of what the game is supposed to be, just turn one of these suckers on and play it in the background. It's just Chris sitting at a table. You don't even got to watch it, but you'll hear a lot of the questions that gamers will ask, like, will the Retaliator be able to do this? Will we be able to EVA that? Those are the type of questions that will come up that Chris responds to. So again, some of the old shows, ATF, for those of you who don't remember that, Around the Verse, RTF, Reverse the Verse, Squadron 42 stuff. There's all types of stuff here. So the archive side of this, as fastcart mentioned earlier, is here for you guys to go back and look at. You know, it's not just the stuff that's going on now. If you want to know about all of the Citizen Cons, those are in here. Invictuses, all that stuff is in here for you. Gamescom, yeah, which they weren't done in a while. And matter of fact, there's even videos of when they were doing some of the other like Dragon Con, some other stuff that they went to over time, you know. So there's a lot of content here, guys. You really start to understand when we say CIG when people say they're not being transparent and showing us stuff, there's so much stuff here. It's overwhelming. So much. It's literally overwhelming. You know,
I know there's a website that lets you put in playlists so you can get an exact count of how many hours that playlist has. After this tour, I'll probably go through the playlist and see how many hours and add them all up. Okay. I'm just curious.
Okay. All righty, we're going to move on. We've been in here in YouTube a little too long. Let's get to the next one. We're going to change up the categories now. And we are going to start talking about familiar sites to most of the gamers here. And these are gameplay tools. I'm hoping that this comes up. Some of these sites are like,
I don't think so.
Lagging. I
don't think so.
Yeah, this one might be one I got a screen capture. So it looks like, I got it. Oh, that's why. It's got a freaking flash load on it.
Yeah.
That is why. Let me get rid of this, close that. And screen capture again. Familiar.
And I think that's probably the reason why StarMap works, because it won't work in normal Chrome, but it will work in the screen capture software. That's weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, that is very weird. I don't know what the heck that's all about. Okay, let's go here. Many of you guys are familiar with this site. We call it Urkel, but that is not the name of the website. It's called DPS Calculator. Okay. And as you guys know, this is the site that a lot of people go to when they want to learn about tricking out their ship, what weapons are good for doing what. But there's a lot more information there than just that. You can find out about ships and vehicles here. All the statistics and information about them is listed here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that maybe some people don't even monkey around with. Weapons here. What type of weapons, who's the manufacturer, the type, the size of it, the burst count. There's just tons and tons of stuff here. The fire rate of weapons. Same thing here with missiles. They've got a category for missiles. They've got a category for bombs, as we're introducing bombs into the game. EMPs. Information about using your EMPs for those of you who are into that. Shields, powered plants, coolers, quantum drives, mining lasers. All this information is available to you, and it's out there. You guys want to check them out? Oh, my hangar's empty. I don't want to bring my hangars.
And this is one of, well, it's newish because it's been around for a few years now. But I remember when I first heard people talking about it, like, oh, go to Urkel. I'm like, what? The guy from Family Matters? I was like, what are you talking about? So, and then I said, oh, it's not you, it's ER. Okay, I got it. So it took me a while to find this place. But once I did, it's a mainstay now.
Yes. So here I just picked on, I'm picking the 600i just for the heck of it again. But here you can find out what the weapon loadout is of it. This is all the stock default areas, if I'm not mistaken. The turrets, no mining lasers, obviously. missile racks, shields, power plants, coolers, quantum drives. This is a great way just to be able to, on the fly, pull up and find out what your ship is stacked with.
And also, you can change them to see how it affects your ship.
Yeah,
absolutely. Over here, you have a total count of what your damages are, DPS, all that information is over here. This here, I didn't even realize this actually works in an interactive way. You'll notice all the numbers
when
are
it first came online in the game.
So if you decide to go full power toward weapons or shields, you can actually see what that response will be here and test out.
That's why it wouldn't work in the streaming software.
Yeah. So again, Urkel is again a very popular program that many of you guys already know about. So we definitely want to talk about that. The DPS calculator. Did you guys want to say anything else about this one, Kalrati or fastcart?
I would have to say that, for every major patch for a while, I always used Urkel to get an idea of the budget that I would have to save up to be able to upgrade pretty much, any ship that I buy, or, the amount of money that I have to save up to buy a ship in game and the upgrade. So I'll have some kind of, forecast of what I have to work up to. So I've been using Urkel, for quite some time. In 3.19 and 3.18, I've been trying to do more shopping to look around, but at the same time, you can't deny the effectiveness of Urkel and some of these other related tools.
Good stuff. All right, let's go to another familiar one. Some of you guys remember this one, Galactic Logistics, better known as Galog. A lot of us have used this one particularly, even though it has some really great categories here. One of the big ones that people like using this for is trading. Trading is a big one. The cool thing about the way this site is designed is you can actually put in, and I got to look at y'all know I'm blind. I can't see that little bitty screen over here.
What are you looking at?
Well, I want to walk through it while I'm doing it. You can select what type of ship, for example, if you want to fly whatever the ship is, right, that you're doing your trading in. See how little that is? Jesus Christ. Okay, let's say I'm going to use the Reclaimer. Let's use the Harbinger, okay? You could say the Harbinger is going to be the ship you're going to fly. And then you want to say how much UEC you want to use. Then you could say, what's the source? Where are you going to pick it up from and where are you going to drop it off, right? And what they'll do, once you pick whatever that particular resource is, it'll calculate and tell you what your profit margin will be. So you'll know exactly how much money you'll be able to make when you make that run. And they also have their prices, the current prices of what things are running at each location. So here they tell you in Area 18, Agricium you can buy it for $24.84 and you can sell it for $27.50. And they go down all the locations. Here's Lorville, here's New Babbage, here's Orison, the Grimhex, Area 18 R Corp. They go down all of the CBD. Crew L5, they give you all that information that you can. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling down the wrong screen. I'm scrolling down my screen instead of y'all's screen. But it has all the locations here, okay, of where you can find out what these prices are, okay.
And I suspect for three. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, this site may have some issues when the game goes live.
I was about to say that too.
Say the same thing. Unless CIG provide some kind of API or something, I don't see how this site is going to.
And this is one of the sites that I had in mind when I talked about that, because trading, which is going to be crucial for folks, right?
Yeah.
First of all, getting the latest information as quickly as possible. So this may be okay as a guide. Right. I mean, for planning's sake, right? If you can't get in the game and you got some time while you're at work, and you want to sit there and do some stuff, it may still remain relevant, But again, maybe CIG will provide an API, right? Or what they may do is find some other ways to expand this in ways to keep it relevant to players. Maybe it's not a real-time aspect, but maybe there's something else. We'll have to see, right? But for right
maybe
now,
they can find some way of pulling information from the game without using an API, like having a screen capture and just translate the numbers and words from OCR scanning and stuff like that. So maybe there's a will, there's a way. I don't know. Yeah,
and that could be the case. Honestly, that really could be the case. One of the other things I like about this is that again, graphics, visuals are there for this. So if you wanted to see any particular ship, I'm going to go to fastcart ship, the Banu Merchantman. Excuse me. There's information there, what the length is, the height. And again, a lot of times these folks will keep their information much more relevant than what CIG may have on their website. Unfortunately, this will not scroll for me, fastcart. I wish I could get it to scroll.
That's okay, but you see the minimum crew is 4, so I just need three more
Three
people.
other people? Okay.
I do 4 times the work.
I got you. But let's see if I can't get this to scroll. It's really weird. But if you go down further, they talk about the weapons on it, the coolers, all that information is there about the ships. Okay. So again, another great resource that's been around for a good while. Most of us we've seen this before, but Galog or Galactic Logistics. So check that one out when you guys get time. Okay. All right, we're chopping.
Jay pointing out a site called UEX Corp.
We're getting there. We're getting there. You didn't look at your sheet. It's up coming up.
Oh, it's at the bottom. I didn't see it. Okay. No, I did.
All right. This one here, I got to do another screenshot because these folks who got these fancy websites, they do not want to load.
Hey, I mean, it's funny. It's 2023.
I know you got to get off Flash eventually, right? Okay. This one here is called Star Citizen, and you guys may have seen the logo for this before. Star Citizen Trade Tools. Get this one up here. La-di-da. There we go. All right, Star Citizen Trade Tools. This is up to date with Star Citizen version 3.18.2. And I do wish other sites would do that to let people know how current their information is. But here, they give you this thing about trade routes. If you want to be able to pick a ship that you want to go to, how much you want to put in your money for your initial investment, what your profit over time is, pure profit, all that cool stuff is there. Allowing for wait times, and then to show the details of whatever it is you're selling. And they've got all the stuff listed here for what you want to pick. And if you submit it, they will give you the data and information for that. They've got these tips for making runs in Star Citizen. They've got that broken down for trading. They've got the same thing broken down for mining as well. And then they've added salvage, which is interesting. As you guys know, they're going to be introducing the salvaging missions. But here they tell you, for example, at ARC L3, salvage opportunity number here is 647,292. They tell you about scrap pieces. I don't get all of this yet because they had this broken down by if you took this type of ship, I guess that's how much stuff they could take there. I don't know. See, I don't get this. Is this real time information? I don't know. I'm going to have to try this out. Maybe somebody here has used this channel before.
So I have used SC Trade Tools, not for salvage, but SC Trade Tools for trading has been my for about 2 years now.
Really? Okay.
Especially when it comes to plotting routes and those things, because even though the economy has been relatively static, it's always nice to get an idea of minor changes that they've made, and also get just for the purpose of roleplay and understanding how trade routes are going to operate. So it's a really cool site, and like you, Griff, I actually didn't know that they added a salvage tab. So I definitely will have to check this one out.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if you put the mouse over the question mark, the circle with the question mark, it does explain it better. Like the first one, the SOI index, the sum of value by volume, taking into account rec type, concentration, distribution, bigger is better. And the SOI breakdown that gives you the profit over time when salvage is specified recs relative to each other. So that it gives you a brief explanation as to what those things mean. But yeah.
Now, at the top of the screen, and Jade mentioned this too, at the top of the screen, it says, it appears that the economy has been moved to the back end in 3.19. We're evaluating how to go forward with the project. So we're going to see what happens with this.
Interesting.
Because that's going to be an interesting part. And again, whether they're able to integrate real-time information into the game will be cool. Some of you guys know right now, when you're in the game, your Moby Glass every once in a while will tell you that some numbers have been updated for trading.
Alert.
But again, what the game provides to us in real time, will there be a situation where somebody actually needs to be in the exchange? Because actually that's the best place to be to get real time information. Will the Moby Glass be instantaneous? Will there be a delay in time? I mean, there's so many cool things that CIG can put in relation to this, but I am curious as to how community tools will be able to respond to that, like you said, fastcart, whether they will be able to continue to exist or whether maybe some of them may get eliminated because of the technology being incorporated into the game. All right, the last one that we're hitting here is UEX Corp. Let me get rid of that screen. Second, I got too many screens running. All right, let's see if this one comes up. It should. There we go. All righty, UEX Corporation. This was one that another one that I've seen a lot, but never really put to use, but it is for trading. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at this one at all, UEX?
I have used this a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's been pretty good. So I don't remember why I maybe it's because I actually found SE Trade Tools first. Mm-hmm. But, just like SE Trade Tools, it has its own uniqueness. It has its own, we are hearing an alert. I think we are being rated.
Rated us with one viewer. Thank you, BBG.
Thank you, BBG.
Thank you, BBG.
Even though we know you logged into your own page and then sent that over here, we appreciate that. We appreciate
that. Yeah.
No, we appreciate your one viewer.
You did there. Nice going.
Yeah, I didn't know he was streaming. That's good to know he's streaming. Okay. He told me he was thinking about it, so I'm glad to hear that. Mm-hmm. By the way, he and GoMob are streaming now. So GoMob has started on the side.
Christ.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been out recently, but I know he started doing a little bit of streaming in the last patch. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead about this.
No, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I similar to what SE Trade Tools said. I hope that they're able to in some way, access the information. I know as the economy shifts around, and especially as it becomes more dynamic, CIG may move all these things to the back end. Mm-hmm. But I hope that in some way they can actually provide at least incremental information. It may not need to be in real time, but some kind of route to be able to have folks, if they want to just, for example, if they're at work.
It's not me.
He froze up. He froze up.
He froze up.
They had another storm come through the islands. Another storm. Another storm through the islands again. All right, Kalrati will be back. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Let me still in Discord for now, but
I know he'll be back. Let me say this. One of the things that I do like about this site is that they will let you do breakdowns not only for trading and mining, which is, don't get me wrong, which is very cool, right? They got trading and mining. But they've got a couple of the categories here, fastcart. One of them is refining. So to be able to determine which your stuff will be once it's been refined is another feature. There he is. He's back. He's back. We thought maybe another storm came through and,
Oh, man, that would have sucked.
Yeah. But I was just saying, Kalrati, about the fact that they actually have a refining category on here, which I haven't seen on some of the other sites, which is interesting, So people can find out what their profit will be based upon refining certain items at the different Lagrange stations.
Most definitely.
So it's pretty neat. They've got a thing here with locations. Jeez, I didn't know.
Once I get my measurement and economy is up, I'll be using these sites extensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here they've got something here. This is New Babbage's Trade Development Division. And they're giving you the prices. Yes, so this is going to be really interesting if this is live. This could be live because they've got this here is that these are below market value and these are profit. I wish this would scroll in here so you guys could see this. The goofy thing will not roll for me. I'm sorry. But yeah, check out UEX, guys. Did we put the link in for everybody for that one?
Yep.
Okay.
We did.
Awesome. Alrighty. Okay. That is going to be it on gameplay tools. We got a couple more categories for you guys to go. Woo, God, we're running late. I thought this show was going to be a not too much show, but geez, oh, all right, let's talk about utilities. And some of these are familiar to you guys, right? One of them being Game Glass. And as you guys know, this was definitely put together by people who, people that started their own company based upon Star Citizen. They started this thing out with Game Glass. They've expanded it now where Game Glass is available to Flight Simulator and also Elite Dangerous. I'm not sure what other things are out there because I don't look at it beyond when I'm looking at it for Star Citizen. Fastcart, have you ever monkeyed around with Game Glass at all or seen it? No,
I know it exists, but I know what it does, and people can use a tablet or a phone, or old phones and devices that they no longer use, and connect them into the game and use them like that. So I know what it does, but I never played around it myself.
Okay, Kalrati, what about you?
Yeah, in the early inception, when it started becoming more popular with Star Citizen and such, and more persons started hearing about it more, I did integrate it with my phone, and it was a pretty swell time.
Yes.
So it's become a lot more intricate now. I remember when they made the update when we got the Power Management V2, and we were able to play around with that, especially. And so I think a lot of players still use it. And I'm very curious to know what's going to happen when we get the new MFDs when that comes online and how they'll adapt to that as well.
Yes. Weirdly enough, I started out testing it on my cell phone as well. I mean, I had an iPad, but it was too big. I had like a big iPad. I didn't want to have that big monster sitting up here, but I did, and it was usable on a mobile phone. It wasn't too small or whatever. And if you were into something like mining or something like that, where you just want to be able to reach down and do like a touch sensitive kind of thing, whether it's letting your mining head come out or scanning or whatever, it's easy to use. It's really easy to use. Now, combat people could use it too. No, nothing against that, but I just know for a fact that when I used it, in particular, I'm trying to see if I can get mine to come up or not. I don't even remember what my pin number is on my doggone pad.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know what? It probably is something dumb like that. This is a shame. I honestly don't remember what my doggone pin number is. And this is on a fairly new tablet that I have. But anyway, let's see if this is it. There we go. Ah, wonderful. I don't know if it'll come up. Where's my game glass at? There it is. It may not come up because I don't have it set up running through the computer. I'm gonna see if it just the basics of it comes up. But it's a very fast program, and it interacts with your Wi-Fi when you're on your computer, and it's pretty cool. Connecting the host. Nope, it won't do it unless I'm hooked up, and I'm not hooked up. Okay. But they have shards, and they have different layouts, and what's cool now is that it's expanded. So if you want like a mining one or whatever specific combat, you can also customize now, which is also very cool. Subliminal has gone and done some of these on his own that he puts out himself. But it's a very cool program, and again, supported by CIG. Supported by CIG with them doing this. So very cool, and they're fairly inexpensive. They do have packages where you can get it like a lifetime, or you can sign up and like get multiple shards or whatever the case may be. So if you're a big flight sim person that plays, like you said, Elite and Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can get packages and stuff, which is pretty neat. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to the next old dog we've got here. This one is actually been around a long time, and we probably need to clarify what this is because a lot of people don't get it when we reference this. Kalrati, tell people what voice attack is, and we'll get into HCS later, but make sure people know what voice attack is first.
Sure. So voice yes. So voice attack is a way to pretty much translate your mic input into macro, right? So it's similar to Microsoft speech recognition. So if you want something like, for example, to come across in the game, if you want anything to reflect the keybind that you have, you can say, okay, stand up. If you want to, reflect it based on the power management, if you want to reflect it based on your flight keybinds. In fact, I've had voice attack since 2015, I think, and I've always continued to update it. And at a time, I think in 2017, I decided to map almost all of the keybinds to voice attack. So I have 328 all custom voice attack commands that I built by myself for myself, and they've always been updated. I mean, I don't use all of them, but it's just in case I want to be lazy and do something as simple as move forward. So, and of course, there are combinations. Of course, you could always, combine many different keybinds. So, for example, if you want to do role play like go stealth mode with your ship, you could always command it to turn off certain systems, and then you can proceed forward. So it's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, it is. And basically, what we're doing is translating voice. What would be like we do like voice to text. Well, this is voice to commands, right? You do have to train it. You do have to train it. That's one of the things that people don't spend a lot of time doing. Spend the time training your voice attack, because little inflections, little things, the more you talk, the more the computer starts to understand you, so that you don't have to repeat yourself with certain commands. It's inexpensive to get. They got a free trial now, fastcart. How about that, right?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but it's only like $9 or something like that. And if you just want to have voice attack alone, that's fine. You can stop right there and just use the bass. Some people, I had a friend who actually went and got somebody else because they liked their voice and had them record all the different commands that were in Star Citizen, and then they, use those MP3 or WAV files and use those for their voices, right? So there's a lot of flexibility. It takes a little bit more, but let's talk about what can make people's lives a little easier. And fastcart, why don't you talk a little bit about that, which is going to be HCS voice packs. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the HCS voice pack is an extension and an add-on. I want to say it costs a little bit extra, but they have professional voice actors come in and read the text to speech for you. And yes, and I have I want to say six packs now, and they also has a offer thing that lets you know when they have specific deals. So if you want to get maybe buy one get one free, or get 2 for 1 or whatever, and so they're good for that. But I have you can get like William Shatner, you can get like a Doctor Who, you can get Counselor Troy. A new one that just came out is Gates McFadden, Crusher, and also Jade pointed out that Star Citizen's own Romina Dooley is in there. Her name is Anna Demetrio, and so yeah, she had a voice pack now. So yeah, and I have used this extensively, especially for like Arena Commander when I'm on my own, because I don't want to bother people with voice attack. But I use it to control my speed, so I don't have to take my hand off stick and do other stuff.
And what these basically do is just bring character to voice attack, right? They have enhanced these so that they include information that's in games. So in many of the HCS packs, you can actually ask it questions about things that are in the Star Citizen lore. You could ask it to tell me about Goss, and it will tell you. The crew member will tell you the history of Goss or a location. Or it could be just something as simple as lock missiles, and you hear it respond back by saying missiles are locked. And there's a lot of flexibility. There's customization to it. If you want to put the time in and, make multiple commands. Colossal's got one where he says, Colossal, I wish you were in here. Colossal will say something like, prepare for departure. And when he says prepare for departure, his ship literally fires up. It levels off, it raises its landing gear and brings itself to a certain altitude, all within one command. Jade has her set up where she uses multiple crew members with different voices, and she asks them to check in, and you hear each one of them check in for engineering, check in for navigation, check in for weapons, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of, you can get this as deep as you want, as immersive as you want. But one of the things you find out about Star Citizen, and one of the reasons why we recommend this, is because Star Citizen has dozens of commands. And even if you're trying to program or memorize all the keystrokes or program your joysticks, I have 2 freaking VKBs that each have about 22 buttons on them. There's no freaking way I'm programming 40 something buttons.
Exactly.
And remembering what they are, right? There are some buttons that are very intuitive. I know what they are. I can, if I want to put my this, that, and the other. But if I want to say, landing gear down, do I really want to associate that to a keystroke or a button, or do I just want to say it? If I want to say weapons lock, or if I want to say, start up engines or exit seat, those simple things, like fastcart said earlier, are huge in making your game more immersive and also making it a lot easier. Because as you guys know, anybody who's been around a long time, Star Citizen has a lot of keystrokes, a lot of hold the control plus shift plus this. It's insane.
Modifiers,
it's insane.
And can I just give a couple of caveats or warning for people? Sure. You have friends who are trolls, someone like me, basically. Make sure you be careful when you say self-destruct or eject just by themselves when you're using voice attack, because, people will try to get you, so yeah.
Okay, by the way, when you go to this website, if you notice the pricing is in pounds or euros, I should say euros, yeah, whatever. it will translate. If you're in the US, it will translate over to US dollars. So don't be scared of that. But they have a lot of information here. Also, they've added other stuff here. Star Wars Squadrons is in here now. We mentioned No Man's Sky is in here now.
No Man's Sky,
yeah. So, but make sure when you pick it, you might. And back in the day, believe it or not, Fastcart, when I picked my pack back in the day, they used to include both Elite and Star Citizen.
Elite and Star Citizen.
Yep.
They put that up a year ago now.
Yeah. But that was
we're doing them 2 for 1. Yep. And like I said, if you don't want to pay full price, just wait for an offer. Just put the email in. They'll notify you when they have 2 for 1 or buy one get one free and what have you. So yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right, we're getting late. Let's try to get these last ones knocked out of the park. All right, we're going to change up here, guys, and go to what we call Marketplace, okay? This one is a little different one. This is actually a tool, but it's still in a marketplace, and it ain't going to load because it's got a fancy opening screen as well.
Got a fancy opening. It's not going to work.
I've got to screen capture this sucker here. What the heck? Are you serious? Why is it telling me that? It's making me sign in.
Oh, no. Use the link that I put in, because I had that issue too.
But when I got in here the other day, I didn't have to do that.
It's been a few days.
Ooh, there's a whole page I've never seen before. Wow. Ooh, okay. Let me show this page. This is interesting. Okay, I won't belabor that point. You sent me a link though, Fastcart?
I put it in push chat. The same, yeah.
It's in Twitch chat. Okay, all right. Yeah. So let me go here and show this horror moment real quick, and then I'll go to your link. This was something I didn't know. This is on their site.
Oh yeah, that's been there for a while. Yeah.
I've never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the funding page for CIG. And
you're blocking the lovely Kalrati.
I'm sorry. Oh, I sure am. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot that I was using the other screen there. Sorry. Zoned out a little bit. Okay. But this is showing each year their progression from 2012, which was 7 million to 28 million. So you can want to see the growth and, how Star Citizen's funding has been going so far. Yeah, they've made a lot of money.
They take info from the crowdfunding spreadsheet that I help maintain. So yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, if you do a search, you might find my name at the bottom for credits. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's interesting. They've got a sale.
Yeah, but that's been in for I want to say at least six to 8 months, more than that maybe.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They've got a sale here, sale type per view, like what ships sold and how they went. Boy, they just got a lot of information in here that I didn't know about. Let me pull up. You guys see that? No, Fastcart. I clicked on that same link and it took me to the same page, buddy. Took me to that same sign-in page.
Oh, really? Yeah,
yes,
okay. Well, my bad. Yeah, just go to the right and hopefully you can see CCU on the left. I'm sorry, on the left.
That's weird. Hey, Beetlejuice. You said do what?
Beetlejuice.
You said do what now? Eddie Murphy was talking. Do what now?
Oh, sorry. So go to on the left. Your items 8.2.6. Go to the left. Click on RSI store. Go to CCUs. Or maybe you have to go back to the main site.
Go back here?
Nah, well, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. So you click on my link and it's trying to make you sign in again.
Oh, you know why it's doing this? I know why it's doing it. Because I'm using the Soul Citizens browser and I didn't have the extension in. I'm used to using my personal browser for buying ships. And that's why it was not going to want to run. Because I'm saying to myself, why is this not running? There we go.
There you go.
All right. I had to think about that.
So yeah.
Okay. So as you guys know, well, Fastcart, why don't you explain what this is about, the CCU game?
Well, I use this for specifically for its namesake, the CCU game. So, like when there's an RSI special, like Invictus Week or IAE, sometimes CIG like to give certain special prices for Warbond or LTI ships or what have you, and I go here, and if there's a cheaper way to get a specific ship or to upgrade to a ship from another ship, I like to use the TCU chain, as they say. So click on.
Yeah, I don't have anything loaded in, so it's not going to do.
You don't have anything loaded, okay? Yeah. But yeah, so if you go to RSI Store, hopefully you can see that at the bottom, and click on TCU. Yeah, RSI Store and TCU. That'll show people what I'm talking about.
Okay. So a lot of people, you guys know who did this. We call it the CCU game, which is basically people being able to, as fastcart said, upgrade their ships. Very popular for folks that say, "Hey, I want to save some money." Curious to see about this one too, fastcart. What do you think, Kalrati? Will this be around a long time? Is CIG going to balance out the numbers in such a way that CCU gaming ain't going to work no more? Because fastcart will tell you he follows the history of CCUs, and he's talked about how some of them are valuable, and also how some of them he's lost money on them. What do you think?
I think in some way it will still remain, given that we know that the ship or the ship model for their sales is gonna stay for some time, no matter what our speculations may be. Okay. So I think this may also reflect the same as well. In some way, it may evolve, may change, but I think it's gonna stay. It's gonna stick around.
Okay.
In my opinion, it all depends on what CIG decide to do once the game goes live. Because as far as we know now, they're only going to sell starter ships and starter packages, and there won't be any more concept sales and stuff like that. What we have now won't be the case. So I think they may if CIG keep to that promise, sites like this will have to depreciate a few of their features. But if they change their mind, who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, another site that's been around for a while. I don't know if you guys have ever used this site before. Have you guys used StarHanger? StarHanger, evidently, I don't know enough about them, but I'm assuming they've been around forever. And I'm assuming when it comes to gray market buying, they are probably the one gray market. I've never heard Star Citizen put out anything about buying from them or not buying from them. Now, people will warn you about gray marketing on eBay or on Reddit. Stuff like that, right? But these guys have like an official site that they do resale. They basically, it's like a consignment, right? You say, I want to sell my ship, and I don't know if there's a percentage that goes to them. I don't know how it really works. I have gone here to look for some items that are rare items from time to time. I've missed them whenever they popped up, which always aggravates me. By the way, y'all know I'm still looking for that Hartwell 88 piano. If anybody's got one,
the Mustang Omega.
Link him.
I want that Hartwell
Mustang
88
Omega.
key piano. I will pay you top dollar. That piano costs $10. I will pay you top dollar. Okay.
I will pay you top dollar for Mustang Omega, but
well, let me explain what top dollar means. I said top dollar, not ludicrous dollar. Okay. So if you have access to a Hartwell 88 and you could care less about a piano, let me know and I will purchase it from you very happily. Okay. But anyway, they have flash sales here from time to time. But you can go on here and also sell your ships here, evidently. But a lot of times they have stuff here that, the reason why this site, I think it's a great idea, but maybe back earlier. Nowadays, because sales happen, we didn't have Invictus back then, right? Back when all we had was IAE. And then at one point we didn't have IAE. We had the anniversary sale and that was it, right? So if people wanted something badly enough, they were willing to say, hey, as long as I know that I'm buying it from a legitimate place, I'll go ahead and pay the money. I'll even pay maybe an extra $50 or $75 for it instead of waiting a whole year for that ship. But now we have at least 4 ship sales, maybe 6 ship sales. I'm not counting the big one. Well, I'm saying with those little small ones, but we know we have Invictus and IAE. We don't have
whenever they have a free fly, some ships go on sale.
So, a lot of times people now will wait. People will even tell people, just wait, Invictus is coming, or just wait, IAE is coming up,
Yeah.
And I will say that too, because that's when the limited sales, this limited ships come out, and you have different waves for different ships. One thing I forgot to say about the CCU game and probably this site also is that CCUs eventually are supposed to go away.
Yes.
There'll be a time when you won't be able to upgrade your ships anymore, according to CIG from years ago, unless CIG changed their mind.
Yeah.
Remember stocking up a lot on those $0 CCUs.
Yeah, exactly. I still have quite a few $0 CCUs. I miss those days. Those were the good old days, right, Kalrati?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, see, they have upgrades and stuff. Then they have the ships that you can purchase, vehicles. They have it all broken down by category. If you decide you want to go that route. If you do spaceships and upgrades, I'm just going to go to Aegis, for example. I'm going to go to a Nautilus, see if they've got one for sale. They may or may not sale. Will it go? There we go. All right. And so there you can see they've got a few of them that are up for sale. And the prices are they reasonable or not reasonable? Are those CCUs?
Depends on, it's always reasonable to somebody.
I can't read those numbers. I'm too far away from the screen.
I can see it says 450 or 540 for the Nautilus.
For a Nautilus? Not with LTI. Is it with LTI?
I can't tell that.
Well, that's the part of it.
I think it says LTI. I think it's, I have to load it myself. But I think it says LTI. I'm like, well, let me just blow up the screen all the way.
It does. That's what it says. It truly does. Now, there's upgrades there for $74 from a Perseus to Nautilus. There's one that's been CCU. They're selling it for $549. Now, here's somebody selling an original concept for $4,000. How about that for a special price? Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. Somebody here with a serial number, they're $1,500. So the prices can be, I'd be a little bit suspect about that one for $549 because the ship goes for like $7.25, something like that. So it seems
someone might be just want to offload it real quick.
That might be it too. That might be it too. Who knows, right? That could be the deal.
If you ever see like a fastcart original Bandit Measurement, that's not mine.
Not yours. Okay. All righty. Okay, we are at that. Those are the marketplaces, the CC, and of course, there's the RSI store, guys, the official store. We don't want to leave that out as a place that you can always go to.
I mean, if you don't have to pay, you don't have to buy a UEC on eBay. You can buy UEC on the official site.
Yep.
So yeah,
absolutely. Let's talk about some recommendations that we as Soul citizens are going to make. And fastcart and Kalrati have one that they want to mention. I'm going to give them that opportunity. But these are sites that I want to tell you guys to look at for resources. Even though we talked about YouTube earlier, I want to point you to Paul Shelley. Paul is known not only for doing great shows and providing content on YouTube, but even more, he's a teacher in real life, and he has a real passion and love for history. And he's been doing this series now entitled The Astro Historian, which is a very approachable series to sit and watch and learn about various aspects of Star Citizen. He's been doing lore for a long time, but this series that he's doing now has kind of expanded on that. And it's one of those things that he has visuals, he has music that's been done because folks with New Soul, Uri works with him with doing the animation and graphics. But there's really, really cool stuff. And I'm sure he's got a team of other people, probably Darj and some other people are working with him. But if you guys want to be able to see some really, really interesting stuff, Fastcart highlighted these a few weeks ago on our Thursday show. Tune into them. You can find a lot of good information here. Paul puts a lot of work into these, and so does his team of people that work with him. So we want to recommend Astro Historian Paul Shelley, because once again, we love Paul. He's been around a long time, and he does a lot of great stuff. Another person that we want to recommend is another good friend of ours, and another voice that's well known in the community, and that's Nubifier. Many of you may not know that Nubifier also has his own channel as well. We get the little 3-minute videos that pop up, but he actually does have a good amount of information out here on what is his site. So if you ever want to get, I'll listen to Board Gamer, and I'm sorry I didn't put him out here because we could talk about Board Gamer. People give Board Gamer a hard time, but let me tell you something. Board Gamer will read the stuff that you don't want to read, okay?
Exactly.
If you don't want to read that Squadron 42 newsletter or that monthly report, he will read it. So if you're just riding in your car or in your kitchen cooking, you can put him on. You ain't got to worry about looking at him or nothing because he ain't doing nothing but showing some clips of the game. but he
does. Audiobook.
But he reads all the information there to you. Yeah. So if you want to tune in and get that, now if you don't have time to listen to him, Noobifier gives really great 3-minute, 4-minute. He calls them no BS reports. He doesn't waste a lot of time. He cuts right to the chase of what's going on with ISC, SEL, anything that's going on in the community, stuff that's on Spectrum. So we want to also recommend Noobifier. He puts in a lot of great work, and he's been around a long time. One thing I like about Noobifier, he is 100% about this game, and at the same time, he 100% blasts these jokers at the same time. No mincing words about where this cat stands when it comes to this game. He wants to see this game really be good, and he doesn't mince words.
You're never uncertain about his opinion.
You are never uncertain about how he feels about stuff, okay? Another one that I want to throw up here, and I'm going to add one more to this because I don't want to miss this person. I want to emphasize them. And that's Subliminal. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Subliminal. You know, if you don't watch his stream, you know, he's in the military. He's really into the technical details of ships. But the cool thing that Subliminal does on his show is he does these really great breakdowns on how to trick out your ships. He does a review of the ships first. Then he'll do a whole thing on loadouts and how to really get your ship, I mean, prime. He's gone through all the guns, all the stuff. I hate when this thing doesn't want to work for me anymore. It doesn't want to scroll down. No, if I click on something, it won't scroll anymore for some crazy reason, which drives me nuts. But he does a really, really great show, and I'm sorry that I can't scroll down. But we put the link in for Subliminal there. We want you guys to definitely check him out as well. And last but not least, give me this last one. And I meant to put this down, and I completely forgot about it. Let's see. Can't miss this one. And that is our good friend, Dig That 32. You guys check out Dig That. Dig That kind of has a great mix of information, but distilling it down into a short video. He has these like 1-minute clips, these 1-minute tip things. It may be nothing more than how to start up your ship. He'll show you how to start your ship up in 1 minute, or if it's taking your stuff in to get it refined, he'll do a 1-minute clip of it. But then he also has some gameplay stuff, but he does really, and Dig comes out of the Elite Dangerous side of it too. So he has a real good background in space and seeing how this game is progressing as far as development goes. And as you guys know, he has a great voice, great character that he presents when he's speaking to the community. So we really want to recommend him as well.
Definitely.
Kalrati, let me go to you first. Is there anybody else in the community as a resource, like for people who want to learn about the game or learn special tips or tricks or workarounds? Anybody in particular you would throw people? They could be on Twitch or YouTube or social media, wherever you want to call them from.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, I have, for example, SMB, right? Or Super Mac Brothers. I've been, you know, getting information from them, liaising with them via their YouTube, Twitch for a long time. You know, they post a lot, you know, regular updates, sometimes every day, sometimes every 2 days. And sometimes they give reviews, you know, on what's been happening for the past week. And, you know, sometimes when it comes to, you know, many of these YouTube channels, sometimes you just vibe with a certain YouTube channel and how they deliver the information.
Yes.
And I would definitely recommend him. I would definitely recommend some others as well. And yeah, so it's all about mending and kind of, you know, linking yourself with their vibe. And, you know, SMB is a cool person. You know, I would also say to check them out on their Twitch when they're streaming. And
yeah. You know what I find? Super Mac Brothers is between Noobifier and Board. You know what I mean? He gives you enough info, but he's not going to go the whole deal.
Yeah.
And he also kind of ties things together to talk about, like, you know, this is happening, so maybe we could see this happen, you know, blah, blah. He's good. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
FC, what about you? Is there anybody that you would recommend that folks should check out?
I recommend Face Tomato. He has a couple of channels, but Face Tomato 2 has a lot of interviews with collaboration with different other content creators. So yeah, Face Tomato and Face Tomato 2. So check those out. Yep. I probably put that link in, but I'll do it now.
Yep. No, Space Tomato definitely is another good one. What am I doing here? You know what? My crazy self, I actually just typed Space Tomato in the box and didn't put in the link. I just typed his name in. I'm like, why is it not coming up on the screen? Yeah, it is. It is that time. But yes, definitely Space Tomato. And as you mentioned, Space Tomato 2, where he does his one-on-ones with content creators and people from the community. But yeah, he does really great stuff. And Space Tomato has, as you guys know, stepped up his game dramatically. He's putting out videos almost every day. And he's just really been blowing up now. So he's getting great views, and I'm glad, because at one point he was considering closing his channel down. So it was literally 180 for him, where he's able to be full-time doing this stuff, which is great. So, okay, we survived it, gang. We actually made it through all of our stuff here. Why is that coming on? I don't know. I'm just having a weird technical day here. Where's our stupid thing? There it is. Okay. So we
have one question, but I'm not going to.
Oh, go ahead. If we got one question, we can take it.
Yeah. So this is from Pop and Face. What would the panel want that is lacking, or that CIG should improve on? I would like to have a support area for content makers with tools. What do you think CIG is lacking on that you think they would have to improve the community or help with the community?
I mean, that's a tough question, Pops, and I don't want to not answer your question, but we're focusing really on what the community's doing versus CIG. And I mean, the community is actually, that's what they're doing. They're filling those gaps that CIG can't do. So like when we were talking about the trading tools, being able to know what the economy is, everything in the game all these years has been static. You know, you can go to the what's it called? The TDD.
Oh, the TDD, yeah.
And you see all these stock numbers and commodity numbers running, but they're not real, right? And people want to know, you know, what Agricium is going for, or what Haddonite is going for, or what space station or base can I buy this stuff from? So they're filling those gaps. Anything that CIG is going to do, maybe you guys have something you would like to see them produce, but I mean, they've already told us.
A lot of people would say old tools, but from CIG. That's what
but they've said they're going to do that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Do that,
yeah.
I mean, I was coming from maybe Pop saying something that they haven't said.
Haven't done, yeah.
Yeah, but Pops, like organization, org 2.0 we've been waiting on that forever, where people can come, for example, people can come into the game, and when you come in, if you're in my org already because of the RSI website, then when I come in, it automatically knows who my org people are, right? That information is there. I don't have to go in and invite you and do all this other stuff, right? And then grouping up as an org, being able to do that, being able to send messages, keeping this in game, basically moving us out of the Discord space and trying to bring us in game. So, So, you know, is there anything that they haven't thought of that we would like to see?
To kind of, bend Pops's question with regards to the community tools, I haven't checked out much of the mission categories in some of the websites that have mission categories, but I've been very curious if they've been implementing the reputation lineage and, how that relates to the missions that we do. So, for example, if someone wants to know, okay, what award or what alpha UEC do I get? Or what do I unlock if I were to do a certain mission line, and how it blends with reputation? Can they go to that website, until, reputation becomes more mature and dynamic?
Let me tell you what my difficulty is. And I'm about to piss some people off, okay?
Ooh. Get ready, guys. And ladies.
All right, y'all. This is the old man talking. Y'all know I keep it real. One of the things I don't like about third-party sites is when they reveal information because we're too lazy to find it ourselves.
So play the game, guys.
Play the game.
Ladies,
I'm not trying to be funny.
Play the game.
Don't come to an exploration game and then want to go to a website and figure out how to get somewhere. Now, I might sound like that old guy that's saying, "Don't be giving people college money for free. I had to pay for it myself." But listen. Let me. For those of you who aren't around. When Jumptown first came out, how did you have to find Jumptown? Does anybody remember? Anybody on the panel remember?
Kind of like the same way that we do now. We can't jump to it directly anymore either.
Right. But how did you find it? How did you find Jumptown back in the day?
Some serious triangulation. Sometimes you had to memorize what pattern it was on the layout. And kind of okay, do I jump here?
This Divine Shadow said YouTube. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, HDS. Yep. All right. Now Jade went there. And I didn't mind even YouTube to a certain degree because it gave you a clue. But YouTube couldn't completely show you how to get there because you could try to follow that picture. And if you didn't have the right orientation on your ship, you'd still miss it. See, this drives me crazy when people come into, we had people coming in not my org, but in the test Discord and say, oh man, what's the thing over at Orson? What was it called? The battle we had?
Siege of Orson.
Siege of Orson, yeah. What's the best ship to go up in the Siege of Orson for? Don't be asking, what's the best ship? Freaking go get in your ship and find out whether it's going to blow up or not. That's my attitude about it. If you ain't got the right ship, then obviously that's the wrong one. Get in another ship and try it. That drives me crazy. Everybody wants the shortcut. Listen, I don't care, fastcart. Everybody wants the shortcut to the end game. You've paid all this money waiting 10 years to shortcut everything. That drives me insane. All right, I'm through with my rant, y'all. Okay,
I'm going to say, people, when Power comes out, people are going to be asking, can I take my award in the Power? You're going to be saying, go ahead, try it.
Yeah, I sure will. You darn tootin' I will.
Check it out.
I sure will, But listen, I'm not trying to pick on people. I'm just saying, man, what happened to the, man. Kalrati, you ain't kidding. You had to go to freaking, what's the planet? What's the planet that Jumptown was on originally?
Yela.
You had to go to Yela, go there a certain time. And listen, don't go there at night. You had to go there a certain time, find these certain triangulation of these mountains that was a certain way, and then work your way down to that bad fella. And hopefully you can find it. You had to go to which OM point to go to. I mean, listen. That's what navigation was about. It was about trying to figure out and learn it. And then once you did it, you walked away with the feeling of telling everybody, hey, not that I go to Jumptown, but hey, I found Jumptown. You know what I'm saying?
I can get that same feeling if I go to YouTube and open up a video and tell me how to do it myself. How to do it.
Ain't same thing. And like, hey, Jade mentioned the other one, Benny Hinge, finding Benny Hinge, finding Benny Hinge. Man, you felt good when you knew that you found Benny Hinge and nobody else had been there. And you tell people, they say, how'd you find it? I ain't say tough luck, but I'm just saying. There was that feeling, and I think gamers have gotten lazy, man. They don't know what it feels like to actually work hard and find that stuff, man. But
anyway. Griffin is just telling people to pull themselves up by that bootstrap. That's what he's saying.
That's right. Anyway, that's my rant for tonight. Okay, that's my rant for tonight. So yeah, Pops, that's how I feel about some of the tools. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No question, right?
Don't get me wrong, fastcart. To a certain degree, in the future, some information would be accessible. Known areas like Stanton and stuff like that would be known using their systems, right? You go to the TDD, you could see the information. But don't talk to me about, I can't wait till we get to Pyro. But then I want you to tell me where all the stations are, so when I go into Pyro, I know where I'm going to go. What the frick are we waiting on Pyro for? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are you getting the ships for? And also, you want to explore and find out for yourself,
it's not for everybody, Griffin. I mean, I know it's supposed to be an exploration game, but if you go
into space, you explore no matter when you're going in space. Because if you ain't never been there before, that's exploration. I don't care if you're going there to deliver water, it's exploration. All right, enough of that beating that dead horse. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and wrap up the show because we way over time.
Thank you for the question, Pops.
Yes,
I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. If you all want to check out our merchandise, you guys know we've got plenty of merchandise: hats, keychains, glasses, mugs, all that types of stuff. We got ham, brams, we got all types of stuff that y'all can check out. Okay. And we got stuff coming up. Let's talk about what we got coming up. Fastcart, want to talk about Thursday? Kalrati, you talk about Saturday, and I'll talk about Sunday.
I'll think about it. Okay, so Thursday we have a Soul Talk. That's where we talk to our citizens and women in communities. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. We cover Star Citizen Live, ISC, and what else is happening that week. So that's Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC.
You know what? I always want to tell them what the show is. You said where we cover. That could be just you talking. Tell them it's a round table where you can
That's
come in and talk with me and other people from the...
Yes! People come in, you can talk to our citizens. That's my whole, when we talk to our citizens, when we're members of the community, that's what that means. But yeah, you want me to expand that. Yeah. People come into Discord.
And they talk to you.
We talk to our citizens about different topics.
Yeah, people don't know they get to talk to the illustrious fastcart. I want them to know that. Okay.
Fastcart.
And, you know, there's no bad joke whatsoever.
Yeah, you're okay. Don't believe that lie.
Once.
All right. Go ahead, Kalrati.
Right, yeah, right, cool. So Soul Voices, Saturday, p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all things community concerns. We grab stuff from Spectrums, from Reddit. We spoke about Reddit, how persons are very passionate about a project, and we pull posts about the concerns, about rants, about all those things, about curiosities, and people are always invited to come on and voice their own opinions on those topics as well. And we have player haters where, we talk about talk about those things in a different way.
Yeah.
So
talk about them guys.
So come on and check us out.
Yeah. And next Sunday, we're going to, on the 14th, we're going to be doing a show called Where Do We Go From Here? This show is going to be talking about what we know about Star Citizen, but it's going to be a little bit more on the theory crafting side. It's going to be talking about what else would we like to see from Star Citizen. We know about these categories. We know about delivery. We know about mining, bounty hunting, mercenary, investigations. But what else? CIG every once in a while throws us a ringer, right? Something comes into the game. Oh my goodness, Loken. Oh my God, Loken.
Oh, wow.
Snap.
Loken, oh my God, thank you so much for the raid.
We gotta go for another hour now.
Yeah, we're getting, yeah. Loken, you caught us right when we were wrapping up, but you guys, thank you guys for being here. And Empirics, thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the follow.
But we're going to be talking about next. You guys make sure Fastcart, make sure you put Loken's name in so folks can follow him. Do an announcement for that, or a shout out rather for Loken.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about what would you like to see. What I was saying was CIG will throw us a loop every once in a while and come up with something that we weren't expecting, that we didn't know they were going to go. And obviously we know there are other careers that we've kind of talked about some other stuff like farming. They've alluded to that. They're now talking a whole lot about crafting, but what does that mean, right? What can we craft? So next week, we're going to be talking kind of candidly amongst ourselves and also from you in chat about what you would like to see, where you'd like to see CIG go, whether it's gameplay, careers, mechanics, stuff that they ain't never covered before. We're going to come up with some cool ideas and creative ideas. So that's going to be like a big mind blast like next week of talking about that stuff. Okay. All right, Loken, thank you again. Thank you for all those who came over from Loken's channel. Hope you had a great stream tonight as well. We had a great time tonight. I want to say a special thanks to my compadres, Fastcart and Kalrati, because without them, y'all would have been bored listening to me. We once again want to say thank you for everybody who has been supporting us. Those of you who subscribed, those of you who followed, those of you who just shared comments in the chat tonight, you guys were awesome. Thank you guys for making it such a great show. We are wrapping it up 20 minutes after.
Oh, shoot. I didn't look for someone to raid.
I've already got it. I got Abdi.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got Abdi. So we are going to raid Abdi Johan. He's one of our, thank you, Marshmallow Rampage. I love that name. We're going to rate Abdi Johan, one of our own soul citizens, one of our team members. You guys give Abdi some love. He's such a great guy. He's a lovable guy. He's only got 6 people watching him. Y'all hang out with that brother and tell him he's doing all right. Give him some encouragement, because we want you guys to go over and hang out with him for a little bit. If you like what you see, of course, follow him. As always, thank you guys again for all that you guys do. Please, please, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for your support as always. And we got to tell you, as we always do, peace, love, and soul. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
See you, everyone.
And the video did not run. How about that? Here we go, guys.
There you go.